Hey and welcome. I'm Anthony Ball, and this is Working on It. And today I've decided to talk about something hard because it's fresh. Um, because earlier something happened um, that shook me at the core, and I want to talk about the experience first. Um, that we're going to kind of touch deeper onto, and what I want to dive deeper into and talk about. So a few days ago, I was driving back and there was a minor incident with cars, minor paintwork damage. And what happened next was a show of how many people can be in the world and how things need to change in a way that can help people grow and learn, right, and regulate their nervous systems. And what happened was that this man was very angry from moment one, which can be understandable with being in a collision. Again, it was very minor. But from moment one, he showed violence, rage, and anger, hitting and punching my car. And with this, I stayed very calm because I could see how he was reacting and how unsettled he was. And eventually, it escalated into him punching me a couple times and kicking me, and eventually pulling a knife on me. And this was without any provocative talk. It was completely unrational, completely unmotivated from the situation that we were in. And I mean, I was terrified in the situation. It got me reflecting and thinking deeper into what it is. Because me personally, I want to learn, I want to grow from my experiences. I don't want them to hold me back with fear or anything like that. I'd rather use anything that I go through with courage and step more into life. And I want to use this experience for that. And uh, there was fear, and there's a lot more deeper into it. Now, it's not because I was afraid of dying, though that fear was there. And I've spoken with many friends on this, and there is that kind of what if situations that pop up in my mind. And thankfully, I have a great community of people around me, and I've reached out to them a lot, and they've helped me to process this a lot. Um, but I was in that moment. I remember thinking, like, I remember looking into the guy's eyes, and I saw pain. Like, I know he wasn't evil, and it wasn't like pure rage or anger. It was just pain. And eventually, I won't go into too much detail, but he shared his story. He was very um, after the escalation had calmed down and the knife had been put away. He did share from where he was at and what he was going through, and it's a very um, telling story. He was going through many things in his life, but this does not justify his actions. Um, but it made me ask, what kind of life breaks a man so much that the first tool he reaches for is violence? So this is Working on It, and today we're going to be talking about toxic masculinity, not as a political slogan, but as a real lived wound that nearly cut me, nearly cost me um, potentially my life, or you know, a long healing process. Now I know that phrase toxic masculinity gets thrown around a lot, um, and I resisted going down that path. But sometimes it's used to shame men, to say we're all part of the problem, right? To generalize men as that. But that's not what I mean. When I say toxic masculinity, I'm talking about a set of learned behaviors passed down through generations that teach boys. Don't cry, be tough, win, dominate, don't show weakness. Your worth is in what you provide, control, and conquer. And when boys grow up hearing that, and only that, something inside them warps. They learn to armor up, to bury fear, to confuse aggression with strength, to see vulnerability as failure. And eventually, that armor becomes a prison. And when life is hard, which it will for everyone, when they feel disrespected, powerless, unseen, they don't know how to talk. They know how to lash out because no one ever taught them how to feel, only how to fight. So where does this come from? I mean, it starts very young. A boy falls and scrapes his knee. Mum says you're okay. Dad says walk it off. If you're sad about a loss, a game, a friendship, a dream, someone says don't be a girl about it. So he learns emotions are dangerous, softness is weakness, love may be earned through performance. And over time, he builds a wall. But pain doesn't disappear because you ignore it, it builds. And I could feel this. When I was holding on to what was going on inside me, I was acting out with my wife and with my younger kids. And as soon as I allowed myself to be vulnerable, that eased. Right? And I've practiced this a lot. It's like a pressure cooker with no release valves. And one day, over something small, it explodes. Maybe in silence as depression, maybe in rage as violence, maybe in distance as a broken relationship, or maybe, like I saw, in the flesh of a blade pulled out for a minor issue. But that man didn't pull a knife because he's evil. He pulled it because he's unarmed emotionally. Because no one ever gave him the tools to say, I'm scared, I feel disrespected, I don't know how to handle this. Instead, he was giving a story. A real man handles it by any means necessary. And that story almost cost me everything. Like the emotion is still there. Now, let me be clear. None of this is an excuse for violence. Harm is harm, threats are threats, and accountability truly matters. But if we want to stop the cycle, if we want fewer knives, fewer fists, fewer broken homes, we have to go deeper than punishment. We have to look past, we have to look at the wound beneath the weapon. Because every violent man was once a little boy who needed someone to say, it's okay to cry, you're loved. Even when you're not winning, you don't have to prove your worth. But too many of us never heard that. And so we grow up thinking strength means silence, power means control, love means performance. And when we feel threatened emotionally, socially, existentially, we don't reach for connection, we reach for dominance. And that is not strength, that's starvation. Starved for love, for safety, for belonging. So what's the alternative? It's not less masculinity. Masculinity is so important for our culture, but it's a healthy masculinity. Real strength isn't suppressing emotion. It's feeling it, naming it, and choosing wisely. True power isn't controlling others. It's leading with integrity. Deep confidence isn't proving yourself. It's knowing your worth, even in failure. I've spent years working on this, going to therapy, joining men's groups, learning to say, I'm scared, learning to sit with the discomfort instead of reacting, learning to be vulnerable, being with the emotion, allowing space to be with the emotion. And yeah, of course, I still get angry. Anger is a very important emotion to have because it shows our boundaries. But when it flips to that rage, I still feel the old script kick in, like handle it, fix it, fight it. I felt it in this scenario. very much. And one thing I will add, my kids were in the car, my wife was in the car. It's a very, very, very vulnerable situation to be in. But now I pause, I take a breath, and I ask, what am I really feeling? What's beneath this initial reaction? Why am I triggered? And more often than not, it's not anger, it's fear, shame, loneliness, my lack of communication skills, my lack of awareness with my needs and wants. And those aren't weaknesses. They're very, very human. And the moment we let men be human, fully, honestly, messily, in the moment, we start to heal. I won't pretend I'm not shaken by what happened. You can probably hear some of the emotions as I speak about this. But I also won't let it make me hate certain cultures, certain people, backgrounds, men. I won't allow it for me to fear them or to give up on what I want to create, because I believe in men and I believe there's a healthier way. I believe we can be strong and soft, protective and present, fierce and kind, but we have to be taught. So here's my challenge to myself and to you. Let's stop raising boys to be armored. Let's raise them to be aware. Let's teach them that tears are not betrayal. They're truth. They're welcome. That asking for help isn't weakness. It's wisdom. That true power is using your strength to create safety, not take it. Because the world doesn't need more hardness. It needs more healing. And it starts with us. This has been Working on It. Real Talk for Modern Men. I'm Anthony. Thank you for listening. Please reach out, share your stories, leave any comments, DMs. You can contact me at workingonit.menspodcast on Instagram. You can send me an email at info@letsgetlostbarley.com. Until next time, keep working on it. And remember, vulnerability isn't the opposite of strength. It's the foundation of it.